Welcome back to Core4Power, equipping people to harness the power of 4 core energy systems: faith, fitness, family, and finances in order to live a fully engaged life. And today's guest, Andy Dooley. Andy, good to have you on the show, man. I'm so excited. We are out here in Ventura, California, the home of Andy Dooley. He lives out this way. And I want to tell you a little bit about Andy. Andy is the face. He's the 2016 face of ReebokONE.
Yep. That's right.
Great year for him.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be interviewing him today. Andy is actually a coach and a fitness expert. He's a fit pro, been in the industry. He's kind of tenured in the industry for several years. Actually, how many years you been in?
Wow. My goodness. About 13 years now.
13 years as a fitness pro,
Crazy.
Fitness expert, coach, mentor. But Andy is not only somebody that endeavors in the fitness industry. Andy is also a man that does a lot of other things. My understanding, and I've heard some of your stuff, is that you are a producer. You're a rap artist.
Yes.
All right, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've always liked music. I grew up with music, and I actually, in college, started doing, like, slam poetry things.
Okay.
So I wrote poetry, and then there was a group on campus who were like, hey, we want to feature on our album.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't rap like that, really, And then next thing you know, I did it, recorded it, they loved it, and then from that point on, I caught the bug and started rapping.
And so you fell in love with it.
I fell in love.
All right, that's good. Some passion. Andy is also a family man. He actually has he's married. How long have you been married?
6 years.
6 years. He's got 2 little girls and
a boy on the way.
A boy on the way.
Welcome.
Welcome. And so not only that, Andy, what I love about Andy is that he's a man of God.
Yeah.
He actually works in his church. He volunteers in his church. He pours his life out into young people. He's preached a little bit. He's got people that have actually flown him out to preach at their church. Mm-hmm. So he's a full basket. Andy's got a lot going on. So again, man, I'm so thrilled to have you on Core4Power.
My pleasure.
Our emphasis is on, faith, fitness, family, and finances. Mm-hmm. And so are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, I want our listeners, just so you know, our listeners, I call them the Core4Power tribe.
Okay.
That's the group of listeners out there. They're looking for, how can I step in to harnessing the power in my life in these 4 areas?
Yeah.
And so they just pick up little nuggets from you. But I want you to tell them a little bit about your life. And how did ReebokONE come about, man? You've been traveling with Reebok. You're representing Reebok. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to be honest, I really, like you said, I'm a God-fearing man. So I would say Reebok actually started about 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago,
okay.
I have this book and my iPhone, and I have a list called Outlandish. So
Okay.
It's Outlandish, craziest prayers you could think of. The craziest prayers that you could think of that if you told somebody, people would be like, be quiet. Those are what I put in my iPhone.
That's the conversation you're having with God.
Yeah.
So, you tell him the desires of your heart.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
3 years ago, I wrote in there I wanted to be sponsored by Nike or Reebok. I didn't know what that would look like, how that would come about. And I prayed on it and believed it. I've been a sneakerhead. I love the industry. I love shoes. I love athletes, athleticism. It's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I eat, breathe it. And so we fast forward, and I always look over that outlandish list. And I've been watching over the years how I check off each thing. God just comes through because God is our Father. He wants to do good things.
I want to stop there because it'd be easy for somebody listening right away and want to check out and say, look, this is about prosperity gospel. This is about, these guys praying to God, and then God, because you believe, he all of a sudden is going to give you all your dreams. He's going to give you all the wealth.
No.
This isn't about that, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It's just of showing faith. You being able to say, you know what, I believe in God. I believe that he wants to bless. But, if you don't have faith in putting stuff out there and seeing it come to pass, how would I be able to be in this position today to tell you it's true? Because there's a lot of things that haven't came to pass.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean God isn't the same God,
And I think that's one of the issues, and that's why we're talking today, is because when it comes to faith, it's not about having faith in order to possess things and have him give you. Yeah, we ask for it. He says, it's a relationship. And I've seen you navigate through your faith journey that you have these things and this outlandish list of things you want to do, and God's giving you desires on your heart,
right.
But they are to honor him and give back to him.
100%. And the heart behind it is I love people,
Mm.
and I know I'm here for a reason. And one of the biggest things was, what is my calling? What am I here for? And as I fast forward, I was online one day, and someone sent me a Facebook, hey, there's a competition with Reebok.
Got a helicopter going over.
We
That's,
do.
that's the beauty of being outside and doing
Hey,
interviews.
it's organic.
That's
uh,
great.
yeah, and someone said, I think you'll be great for the competition. So I was like, okay, I'll look at it. And it was during a very tough, crazy time transition in my life with work, not making enough money, trying to find a way to provide for the family. And then a second person sent me the same link. So I said, okay, let me upload my pictures. Let me upload my 140 characters. And we fast forward, and I get an email from Reebok after time. I made the top 12. And so from that point on, I had to create a video
Mm-hmm.
that, like a 2-minute video, basically sharing my life, who I am, what I do, what I represent, for basically the world to see. And then there was going to be a voting phase.
Because it's going to be a platform, right? You're working with Reebok now. You got
Yeah.
a platform. It's not just about achieving a dream. It's I got a voice.
Yeah.
So they got to know who you are.
Right. And they need to see what you represent, you know? So what was hilarious.
So what I'm hearing from you is that character matters in this
Oh
situation.
my gosh, yeah. And character matters behind closed doors. That's what people don't realize.
You got a nice beat right there.
That's what I felt.
Yeah, there we go.
There
Okay.
we go.
All right.
Almost got stung, guys. By B. Yeah, but a lot of the things is what you do behind closed doors
Mm-hmm.
is what happens outside.
Out in public.
Out in public. You know, like it's easy for me to walk around and show you a certain look or a certain me, but it's what's behind closed doors, that character behind closed doors. So made a video, and it was hilarious as I did it on my iPhone.
Okay.
Got very creative.
Okay.
I went back home to Ohio, ran around Ohio State University getting clips and all kinds of stuff, and did workouts at 1 a.m. and submitted the video. And then it was a 2.5-week crazy worldwide media blitz where people had to come in and vote, you know. And so, long story short, made the top 4. The day they announced, check this out, the day they announced that I made the top 4, I had $1 in my bank account.
Wow.
So the irony of
You guys are done, broke.
The irony
And you got 2 kids at the time.
2 kids, I am broke. I am feeling horrible, but then I'm also excited that I just moved on to the top 4. But it didn't really mean much to me because, I mean, it meant a lot to me, but it didn't mean as much as how am I going to provide for my family right now? Today they need to eat. Today they need food. Today they need diapers.
Because you were in a big transition. You had been training. You were transitioning from one place to another. You know, in the world of fitness and conditioning, you if you're not on the floor training, you're not making money.
Right.
And so when you were transitioning out and then you're pursuing this endeavor of Reebok, there wasn't cash flow.
No cash
And,
flow.
Yeah,
And I was just
I get it.
getting a new job to become the manager at this I Love Kickboxing place. You know, so obviously you still have to work before you get a check.
Okay.
So
So they you're there. Reebok is there. The finalists are there, and they call your name.
Yeah.
Tell us what that was like.
Surreal. It was a surreal moment. Obviously, as a athlete, a competitor, you want to always go in with confidence, not cockiness, just confidence that you believe you can win. But at the end of the day, there's 3 other people that feel the same way.
And that's the beauty of sports and being an athlete and endeavoring in fitness and pushing yourself in a weight room and things like that is it gives you that type of personality, that type of confidence that overflows into other aspects of your life. You know, whether it be business, whether it be school, whatever it is you're chasing, you know, understand that these type of qualities that Andy's talking about, they matter. And they are developed from many different areas, and sports and fitness is one of those areas.
Yeah. So they call my name, I stand up. And at first, I almost didn't realize I just won it.
I can imagine, man.
Yeah, so they called my name. They played one of my favorite songs, Hugs and Embraces, and then immediately called my wife and girls.
Man, that's great. So this last year, 2016, you've been the face of ReebokONE.
Yeah.
You're now in the fitness industry as you've been working with ISSA, the International Sports Sciences Association. So
Yep.
not only you training people now,
Mm-hmm.
representing one of the biggest companies out there, but you're also training trainers.
Yeah.
You've got a great following. The tide turned, that transition happened.
Mm-hmm.
You were faithful in your obedience to the Lord. He remained obedient to you in providing, as he says that he will provide for you.
Right.
And so there's something I want you to, before we move on to the next round of questioning, there's something that I love that you say. You have a philosophy. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
You have a philosophy that basically states hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
Right.
I'll read it again. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
Yeah.
Why is that so important to you? Why is that message so important to you?
It's huge. There's so many people. There's so many talented people out there. There's so many naturally gifted, talented people, and then there's the blue collar, if you will, that will work extremely hard to just match the talent you have. And if you don't work hard with your talent, that person could surpass you.
See it all the time.
I see it all the time,
You
man.
had these young people, they've got all the gifts. It's like God dipped them in a special sauce. They can
Yeah.
run like a deer,
Right.
but they don't work hard.
No.
But then all of a sudden, they're ahead of the game, and then somebody that's working their tail off, working their butt off, all of a sudden there's a surpassing.
Right. And that's why I say consistency plus discipline plus patience will equal success.
Say that again.
Consistency plus discipline plus patience will equal success.
I hope you guys heard that. That's a nugget. You got to take that one down. Pause, write it down.
Yeah, tweet it.
Andy Dooley, tweet it.
I mean, because that's the problem. Everyone wants things now. They want it like this. We live in a Wi-Fi world. I mean, my goodness, just imagine what it was like with dial-up. We got it good right now, but we want it like this. It takes consistency and discipline and patience. And then when you consistently work and keep doing the same thing over and over, you're getting better. You're becoming a professional you're just waiting for the right door to open. So when that door opens, you're ready.
But okay, so yeah, it's the waiting for a door to open at the same time going through preparation.
Yeah.
It's a coming together of divine intervention and hard work on your part and coming together.
Right.
You know, instead of just sitting back and like, all right, God, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. No. Faith without works is dead.
Yeah. You got to work. You got to work.
Yeah.
We're going to transition. So that's about Andy Dooley, right? We're getting to know. We're knowing Andy Dooley's story. We know that, he's gone through his own struggles, and now you got a platform of influence.
Yeah.
We're going to transition to talking a little bit just about the nature of humanity. I got a question. I try to ask everybody this. It's interesting how different people answer in different ways.
Yeah.
So you know who Marvin the Martian is?
Marvin Martian?
Marvin the Martian.
Uh-uh.
He is a character. I associate him. He's like a Looney Tunes character.
Oh, yes.
And, okay,
Yes.
you know who I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just made this up. But
Uh-huh.
let's say that you're at your dinner table and Marvin the Martian comes down. He has dinner with you, and he's real curious about humanity.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell Marvin the Martian is the beauty of being human? What is great? What are some unique things about being human that are great?
Great question. Great question. A unique thing about being a human is that we can make decisions.
Okay? We're not robots.
We're not robots. We have a free will. We can make decisions. And every individual is different. And we can be asked the same question, just like you asked me, and you asked probably everyone else, and we'll give a different answer.
Different perspectives.
And different perspective. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to see the minds of humans on how they see things.
Even see themselves.
And how they see themselves.
That's okay. So basically one thing, hey, Marvin, you got to know, Marvin, you got this amazing ability to make decisions.
Yeah.
Which leads us into the second part of this discussion with our theoretical Marvin, right?
Right.
Okay. What would you tell Marvin is something he has to be careful of as being human? What's one of the hazards, if you will, of being human?
I would say one of the hazards of being human is having too much confidence in yourself.
Would we call that pride?
Yes.
It seems to be one of the biggest hazard of humanity in the beauty of being able to make decisions.
Oh, yeah.
The aspect of pride is one of the most hazardous things that can be part of humanity, because it has the potential for us to do some really bad stuff.
Yeah, it can destroy you. Pride can destroy you. It will eat up humility, and without humility, you're going to keep yourself.
And I would even say that the pride aspect you're talking about is what leads us to self-centeredness,
Oh,
as
yeah.
opposed to God-centeredness, right? Forgetting that we had nothing to do with creating ourselves. This is a theme in my life. I think this way all the time. Had nothing to do with creating myself. The part I have to is the decisions I make to get the most out of what I've been given.
Yeah.
But there is a creator who created me, and what I get back to him is important, and that has to do with other people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And my pride can diminish that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
With that being said, I think that we all recognize humanity has these great potentials and great negative and hazards. So I would love, in your working with people on a public platform, fitness, their bodies, things like that, what's one of your biggest frustrations of working with people, just when it comes to one of these 4 core areas, their faith, their fitness, maybe family and finances? What's one of your greatest frustrations that you hit that you're trying to help people overcome?
My biggest frustration would be patience. It took you years. It took you years.
You can look at them,
It took you years to get to that point.
Audio and video, so.
It took you years to get to that point. And you finally came to a place where you're like, you're fed up. I want change. It's either aesthetically you want to take yourself to another level, or you just want to be healthy. And you want it now. You want it now. The quick fixes don't work. I mean, you could do a quick fix, and next thing you know, I mean, I've heard it. I've seen it. There's like so many people who do fitness competitions, bodybuilding. They shred down, lean out for this very moment.
I just did that.
Yeah, for this very moment.
I just got done with a 16-week contest.
Yeah, you look good.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. They lean out for a show. They get up there for 15 or 12 seconds, do their pose. They're done. And in 2 to 3 weeks, they gain all the weight back.
It's not a lifestyle.
It's not a lifestyle. So I try to, the people I talk to, my clients, people that mentor on Snapchat, I let them know you need to make a lifestyle change.
And you become the accountability of that, right, as a coach?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so one of the biggest frustrations is lack of patience and understanding it takes time.
Yeah.
Right? In your life, in one of the areas of Core 4, faith, fitness, family, finances, where have you personally struggled with that patience? Or, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've struggled with patience, definitely. Finances.
Okay.
Wanting in a place where it's like, man, I just want debt to be taken care of. I want all the bills to be paid. I don't want finances to be an issue to hold us back from being able to help other people. Or
what would you suggest in that frustration in your own life? What would you suggest to the Power Tribe about how to navigate the finances that they do have? Or how should, if they're frustrated with their finances, what's one nugget they should step into to move forward and making that better?
One nugget would be just a loan. Okay, you know what? What can I do today that would actually help with that debt situation? For example, we were like, you know what? We're not the best with budgeting and knowing the nuances of how to navigate through this, so why don't we get financial peace?
Okay.
Which is an amazing
through your church.
Yeah.
Program through your church.
Program through your church, Dave Ramsey. But you don't have to get it through your church. You could get it online.
Yeah.
You can get it online. Yeah. He's amazing. And he simplifies how to structure your finances and work with just cash. And so
Go ahead.
And once you're just working with your cash, once you're out of that cash, you've budgeted. If you spend that money, you're done.
Learning how to be patient
with
what you have available and build on it, right? Because I know in a man's life, even as a father, husband, supporting his family, good stewardship of money.
Yeah.
You might not have a lot, but if you're stewarding over it correctly, you can build on that instead of just blowing it all. I want this, I want that, and then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And we've all learned the hard way with that. I know I did, man.
Yeah.
I did. What is in Core 4, faith, fitness, family, finances, Out of those four, where do you harness the most power to affect the others?
I harness the most family.
Okay.
I love my family, and they're the heartbeat. And making sure that's my first
So
ministry
you are intentional with how you navigate your relationship with your wife
for sure.
and your daughters
Yes,
in
most
order to
definitely.
thrive and have energy. I'm not talking about some mystic, religious
No.
energy. I'm talking about like a true energy you get to be motivated and keep going, and that affects these other areas,
Oh
your
yeah.
faith and your fitness. And
Oh yeah. The family home. That part is number one. Where I mean, obviously God's number one, but my family is the first ministry. So I'm making sure I am giving to that so that I can help the rest of the areas. But because if there's turmoil with your family,
yeah.
you just
I
can't
had a buddy one
focus.
time. We having this conversation. He says, I've come to realize that my wife holds the key to my happiness.
Yeah.
And I get up in the morning, if everything's good with us and I'm being intentional, we're building. I go to work and it's a great day.
Yeah.
When I know, if I get up in the morning and there's some beef between us, my
Right.
day's messed up the whole rest of the day. I have to have goodness with my
It's
family.
true. I mean, you wake up in the morning on a good note. It's like you hover out of the house.
Yeah.
You're just like
I know, man. I know, and that's what this is about. Is what steps can we take? So we're going to come back to that.
Yeah.
So another question I have for you that I think is important is how would you define life to the full? And being Christians here, right? Because this is a faith-based journey for me in this Core4Power.
Right.
Jesus said one time, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but I have come to give life and give life to the full. What would your definition be as far as the full life? What do you think Jesus meant by this?
You know what? I go back to Matthew 6, like 24 through 33.
Okay.
Casting my cares. Not to worry.
Okay.
I mean, the birds fly around here not worrying. Like we as human beings literally will take in all the stress, all the issues and problems and put it on our shoulders. Like not unintentionally, like we're God. Like we can really take care of it. Like we can actually handle it. But when I literally think back and I'm like, no, God wants us to put it on him.
I'll put it this way, and this is what you're saying. I asked a buddy this the other day, and he says, when you're truly free and you're flying, is when you have reconciled the tension in your soul between you and God, you and yourself, you and your family, and you and your career and your finances. And that's life to the full.
Yeah.
I'm like, amen, you got it. That's the whole show.
Seriously.
I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
It was just a great review. Hey, man, this has been fun getting to know you, but we got one more round of questioning. It's called the power round.
Okay.
All right? So we talked about your story. We
Yeah.
kind of talked about the challenges of humanity. And now what we're going to do is we're going to taper down, and we're going to do the power round. And these are nuggets. These are resources that you recommend to people. So it's 4 questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for the power round?
Let's do it.
All right, Power Tribe, here we go. Number 1. If you had one resource or one book that you've recently read or is your favorite, what's one resource you would give to somebody to be intentional and effective in their core 4?
Outside of
Whatever you recommend.
I'll just say, because just last night reading my Bible, I'm telling you.
Your number 1 resource is your Bible.
Heck yeah. Oh my goodness.
How could somebody go about I don't know how to read the Bible. Where would they start?
You know what? I would recommend getting the Message Bible.
Okay.
If you've never read the Bible, you're new to it because it's in modern vernacular. So you can be able to understand the Bible because I get it. You read the King James, thou thus, you're just lost.
That's where I started. That's why I put it away for a long time.
Yeah, so or even a New King James version is great.
Yeah.
But just I was just reading in the Message last night, and I was just like, someone just stuck a power plug in me. I was like,
here's what I would suggest. If somebody's looking for a practical application to build on, I agree with this man. The Bible being your one resource, maybe the book of James. It's got very practical application for life, and that can be a starting point. And then you get into conversations with people that maybe know a little bit more, or something like that.
That's funny you said James, because I was reading James 1:22 last night.
Do you remember what that was? What was the passage?
Instead of being just a hearer, be a doer. We hear things all the time. You go to church or you'll hear a message, and you're like, "Oh, that's great," but then you don't do anything about it.
Number one resource for Andy Dooley, the Bible. Maybe
Yep.
the Message, another translation. Go to the book of James. Start there. Power round. Number two, what is one discipline that you do almost every day or on a regular basis that you recommend for other people?
Drink a gallon of water every single day. And I know, I know they're like, that's a lot of water. You're made up of 70 to 80% of water, and you consume so much sodium on a regular basis. Water is huge. That's something I do every single day. I have my gallon right there.
So hydrated. Staying hydrated.
Staying hydrated.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
We got a discipline to stay hydrated that you do every day.
Every day.
Number three.
Yeah.
Okay, number three is, what is some of the best advice that you've ever received that you would like to impart on the Power Tribe, on our audience that's listening?
That's a great one. The best advice I've ever received.
Or some piece.
Ooh. There's so many things flying through my head right now. You know what? The best thing my dad's ever told me was, be who you are striving to be now. Now. Walk in it as you are there already.
Look forward to who you want to be and then live in that now.
Live in it now. You may not be there yet, but you act, carry yourself, walk into it now. So when you get there,
You're probably
going
going to make some good decisions if you're doing that, right?
Exactly. Very much so.
That's one to write down and journal and
yeah.
ponder and reflect on.
Yeah.
Last one in the power round. This is good stuff. Last one in the power round. I think you kind of answered it. What kind of legacy do you want to leave in your life?
Oh, man. I want to live a legacy that I was here doing the will of God. I was in his perfect will. I did what I was supposed to do. And you look up and you're like, he was a family man, God-fearing man, but he's a regular guy. Like, he loves people. He's normal. He's not weird. He's not forcing things down your throat, turn or burn. But he literally left a legacy that he came here and did what he was called to do.
Why is that important to you?
Because that's why I'm here. That's
Okay.
why I'm here.
So you find purpose in that.
I find purpose
In leaving
that.
legacy and being that kind of man, you
Yeah.
find purpose in that.
Most definitely.
I want to affirm you. We're going to close. I want to affirm you, man. I love watching what you're doing. You are in the fitness industry, but you are more than just a fitness guru. You are a family man. You're a man of God. You walk the straight road. You are trying to live out the core four in your life, and I appreciate that. You are being a light to other people. You pour into young people, old people. You serve at the church. You serve in your community, and that's why I appreciate you. And I want to interview those type of people and have them speak into the audience. And we do this as a tribe. It
awesome.
takes a village, right, to change the world.
Yeah.
And so there is a passage in the Bible for me that Jesus spoke it over his disciples, and I just recently got back from Israel, where I stood on the hillside where Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount, and I got a whole new perspective. And this is the verse that I read over you, and I want to bless you with.
Thank you.
It's Matthew 5:14 through 17, and it says this: "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden, and neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl, but instead they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven."
Awesome.
And I believe that you are being a light, man. You're
Thank
in
you.
the middle of your journey, in the middle of your calling. I appreciate you being here on Core4Power podcast. And I'd love for you to speak to the audience and tell them, how can they connect with you? Give them one last word. How can they connect with you?
Thank you, guys. I keep it simple. You can connect with me on Snapchat. It's Andy_Dooley, Dooley. My Instagram is Andy L Dooley, so Andy L Dooley. And my YouTube, Andy Dooley Fitness. You can go to either one of those, connect with me, and I always respond back. I follow back. I talk back. It's social media, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, this is Jade Molina with Andy Dooley. We're going to be signing off. you can actually go to jademolina.com. And you're going to see the podcast there. I'm going to actually give resources for how Andy, that he gave to us. They'll all be there. Connect with him online and social media. And I hope that this episode has provoked thought for you. I hope that it causes discussion with other people about the things that were said today. But most of all, I hope it causes you to take action in some area of your life, in your faith, in your fitness, in your family, and in your finances. So now go and live life to the full. Signing off.